Yeah, I mean, we had a long break. Then we had two basically flow practices to get into it before GLI. And then we had kind of a shorter week because our last game ended on Monday, and then we played Friday. So I think they've gone okay. Like we've played some good hockey, and especially in the third periods, we've played well. Our details haven't been great, which is probably expected with, the few practices that we've had, and they haven't really been, they're just getting guys going and back into hockey. And so this will be a really big week. I think our details weren't great over the last 4 games, and some poor turnovers and stuff that we didn't have in the first half, the end of the first half when we were playing really good. So we just got to get back to practicing and then getting back into playing our game. But I think overall I thought we competed really hard. We've learned we can play with, top 10 teams, obviously, and, we learned we can win some games in overtime. So there's definitely some positives we can take out of it. Yeah, I don't know if it's a ton of frustration. To be honest, we didn't play good hockey against Lowell. So the fact that we were in that game at the end was we were really happy with. It probably shouldn't have been as close as it was, and a lot of the mistakes and the chances they got were because we gave it to them. I don't think we were frustrated. We're happy that we know we can play with these teams, especially when we're playing and practicing regular leading up to hopefully the national tournament. When we play maybe these teams again, we should be playing a lot better hockey. So, I mean, he's played great for us. He'll make some really big saves when we need it. I think it's nice bringing a new goalie in like Ryan, who might be able to help with some of this load. And when he's a little banged up, which he's been banged up and now he's feeling good. But we gave him a little rest against Holy Cross. But it's nice to have someone like Ryan coming in who can help shelter that a little bit and give him rest when he needs it. And I think Ryan played 2 good games. He's been thrown into the fire pretty quickly here. Getting to, his first day on campus, we arrived at 3:30 Monday morning, and he's never seen the rink, never seen the locker room. So that was his first experience, and I think he might have made it up for his 9 a.m. class the next day. I hope he did, but he was been thrown into the fire, and he's done a really good job. Yeah, we didn't intend to put him in, but Derek, couldn't. He tried to play, and he just couldn't go. And we brought Ryan in for a reason if something like this happened. And he's had a really good first half in Sioux Falls, and we knew he was a good goalie, and he could play when we needed him to. And we didn't expect it to be so quick, but we're really glad. And our administration and our compliance officer Reese did an unbelievable job getting him in. I know he was working on Christmas Eve to get him eligible for the GLI, and it happened really quick, but we're definitely grateful that we had him. I think he's just a really calm kid. I think, there was that weird bounce, that goal they scored on the power play and at Northern and didn't face him at all, and he made some big saves after that. And we knew that going in. I knew his high school coach, I knew his junior coaches, and they said the same thing, he never gets phased. And when you're bringing a kid in at Christmas, you want to bring in the right personality. You don't want anyone to disrupt the team because we have a good thing going, and he's the right kid for us. Yeah. I mean, the way he possesses the puck is incredible. I don't know if there's another player in the country who can hold on to the puck as long and as well as he can, and always having a position where he can make a play with it at any time. You never know what he's going to do. Even us on the coaches on the bench, we're not sure what he's going to do when he has it. And then his elusive speed is some you don't really see super often. It doesn't look like he's moving fast at all, and then all of a sudden he beats a defenseman wide and does this little hip shuffle and picks up speed, and he's really tough to stop. And he's playing really good with, Logan right now, which is fantastic, and Gordo fits really well with that line. We're going to probably keep going with that for a little bit, but I think, and he's kind of turned into a little bit more of a shooter, which is kind of what we've been pushing a little bit. Obviously, an incredible goal against Holy Cross where he came across and shot through that defenseman, and I don't know if the goalie expected it. He was on the other side of the post, but he's a special player. I think Logan, they're just very different players. So I think that's why they complement each other well. Logan's a little bit more of a power forward. He's a little hard-nosed. He's not afraid to get to the corners and get the pucks to those two players. And he's good with the puck. He's smart. He'll win every face-off. I shouldn't say every face-off, but he'll win a lot of face-offs. And then he'll make quick, simple plays, which is what you want when you're playing with some high-end talent. I think so. I mean, every point is so big that that now that we've won a few overtime games, we know if we get in that situation in league play that we can have success. So I think it's great going forward, yeah. That's a really good question. I think he might have played his best game in a Tech jersey his last game against Holy Cross. And he's played good leading up to it, and obviously he's getting rewarded with some points and goals, but he's also defending really well. I think he's playing with Victor right now, which I think they also complement each other. Quite different defensemen, but it seems to be working, and he has some really great tools. And there's at times he can be a little bit high risk with it, and now I think he's trying to find the right place to use his skating, to use his playmaking ability, and it's definitely paying off for him. So I think it's just a combination of, he probably didn't have the first half he wanted, but he stuck to it and kept working, and then I think, the second half is a new season, especially for players when they didn't think they had the best first half. That's the mentality I think he came in with, and he's played really good the last 4 games. I think he is. I think he's still looking for that consistency every game, like a lot of players. And I think it's coming. I think he knows what he needs to do to play his best hockey, and that's ending plays when it's in our corner. That's being really good on the PK, and then making that really good first pass. And him and Casper are pretty similar in that aspect. And when they're playing good hockey, they're tough to beat. Yeah, they're always, Damon's a great coach. They're really well coached, good details. We've seen, I haven't started the pre-scout. I think Ray's watching it right now. But they played St. Thomas the weekend before we played St. Thomas, so we watched them then. They played Bemidji the weekend before we played Bemidji, so we watched them. So we've seen quite a bit of them, and they played good in both those weekends. They haven't had the success the last 4 games that they wanted. They haven't been scoring like they were earlier in the year. So I'm sure they're going to change some things up and switch some things up on their power play to get some more goals. But they always play a heavier style. They like to possess the puck down low in our zone. And so our defense are going to be under a ton of pressure, and they're going to have to make plays, and they're going to have to end plays. So, and then in the offensive zone, we got to move pucks and get pucks towards their net. And it's not going to be probably the prettiest games, but we're also fine with that. Yeah, that's the ultimate question. And we're starting to score now, which is great. Maybe that last game before break against Bemidji maybe really helped us. But we haven't had so we track expected goals. We have a software that does that for us, and our goals below expected was one of the worst in the country. Like, we weren't scoring at the rate we were generating the whole first half. And right now we're above expected the last 4 games, which is a good sign. It's a small sample, but I think guys are feeling good right now, and we just got to keep getting pucks to the net and not try to change anything or complicate things. And we have the most success when we're on a forecheck and getting pucks a little high and getting bodies to the net. And I think that's how we're going to score against Lake State. So.